Hello, I'm Zach Davidson. My speech is on why the NCAA needs to pay their student athletes. So there are many student athletes that are choosing the G League and Euro Leagues over college because of the strict NCAA rules where they don't pay these players and they can't accept gifts. Now, I might not have any credibility on this topic. I'm not an athlete by any means, but I'm consider myself merely a concerned fan and a community member. And the question I want to ask you guys, if you were an athletically gifted person, you're playing in sold-out arenas, and your games being broadcasted, wouldn't you want to cut of that money and the earnings they earn off that? So first main thing I want to talk about is why the NCAA is making millions, and it's leading to these prospects choosing different sources of output. So on the screen, schools are making profits off these athletes. They're making millions in jersey sales, all these articles and a whole bunch of other things. These top athletes are basically choosing, to go other options in the G League. Other options in college, which is overall affecting the income of the school. A lot of these people are probably these prospects are letting down their family, and they end up having, no backup plan if they get hurt or suspended. So some notable top prospects who skipped college is R.J. Hampton. He was #1 prospect in 2018, and he decided to forego college and pick overseas play in New Zealand, like LaMelo Ball. Kevin Flaherty, actually with 24/7 Sports, talked about this and said one of the nation's top players, R.J. Hampton, decided to forego and go the road less traveled and decided to sign with the New Zealand Breakers. Now another person is Manuel Mudiay. He's received many offers from MSU, and he decided to head off to China, and decided to play with the Guangdong Tigers, and he signed a one-year deal that was worth $1.2 million. That was also by Kevin Flaherty with 24/7 Sports. Now another option students decided to go is the G League, and a lot of top prospects are picking this. One, for instance, is Jalen Green. He was #1 prospect in 2020 of ESPN's Top 100. And Adrian Wojciechowski, a top ESPN analyst, said a G League initiative that sources say will pay elite prospects $500K plus a one-year development program. And to add on top of that, many of these G League owners and owners of NBA teams are offering people full paid college education. One, for instance, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban, offers this to everybody who's on his team. The G League actually offers NBA elite coaching, NBA talented players, and they get paid. They also get paid, and they actually could be signed to NBA team and get in the league sooner. So these are some also notable NBA legends and current people that didn't go to college and actually went straight to the NBA from high school. So the next thing I want to talk about is the NCAA's response and why they rebuttal, claims that these student athletes should be paid. Listed, they believe that these prospects will take money and care less about school, which I think is complete and utter bullshit, because some of these students, actually, as a matter of fact, all of them need to have a certain GPA to actually play basketball, any sport. And if they're not playing, they're on the field, and their top prospect is basically hurting their stock, their draft stock. Another reason they say is scholarships, and they give them benefits like microwave meals. And in an article I read, it said that they get like $250 a week budget for food, which I think is pretty outrageous, because they're athletes. They've already got to eat, a certain amount of calories, protein shakes, they need to stay in shape. So I just think that's not nearly enough, to feed, an athlete. And they just said that they'll beload this money on cars and other things like chains and stuff. And I said that there might be a few that do that, but it would probably overall hurt their image if there's, in the news spending loads of money on this. I don't think anybody would like that. So I want to talk about my solution, And my solution is basically you pay these students annual salary, anywhere from 35K to 100K, and that basically depends on the school D1, D2, D3, and if they're a starter, if they're not. And I also say that you need to allow them to accept gifts of their brand. And the reason I strongly agree with this is because Cameron, a Penn State student, actually wrote a blog on how the Louisville program is a strong but decent basketball program, and it was in the news that the program made over $45 million annually in annual revenue, which basically gives the players each a worth of $1 million or more. And Louisville is basically a mid-level contender that and they're not really getting top basketball prospects that come from there. So it's just crazy to think about like Duke, Kentucky, North Carolina, all these top other schools that like have these starting 5 of elite prospects that go at least top 5 or top 10. So what I'm just saying is you pay these kids an annual salary, D1, D2, or D3, and you just base it according to if they're a starter, if they're a 6-man, or if they're a rotational player, or if they're just bench warmer. So with that said, I just want to wrap this up real quick and say that NCAA is not paying their athletes, and it's affecting them and the students. And I believe that my solution will actually overall help them make money and still run fluently, and will honestly be providing these kids an education, which I think they need. There are also many petitions you can sign for and protests you can see on the news, Twitter, and sign up for it. But I went to change.org and I searched get NCAA athletes paid, and there's actually six to seven, I believe, current petitions that you can sign up for, and it'll send you updates and emails and stuff you need to keep watch for. But with that said, thank you, and here are my references.